take questions after, so keep your hands up for me, please.
Yeah, no, we're 2 weeks into practice and looking to play somebody else, with the new rules where you can work with them all summer, and in the fall you get to 4 hours a week on the floor. It seems like we've been going against each other for a while, but we've got a lot yet to do before we play a game, but we're also a little anxious to play somebody. So next Thursday can't come soon enough. I like where the guys are at. I think they're competing hard. They're picking up how we want to play. I think we've got potential to be the best shooting team we've had here. We've been shooting it pretty well. Obviously we know Holloway can shoot it, Reitzel can shoot it, and Houston Woods been really shooting it. But to talk about Reitzel, he's been unbelievably great in the whole rehab process. I think he's coming along. He's probably where he needs to be. We didn't practice him today. We kind of had him on a little bit of a load management deal, bringing him back so we don't injure him somewhere else. He hasn't been able to do that much stuff for almost a year. So he's been back. He's been doing some live stuff, just a little bit. Obviously, we keep his reps short, but I think he's in a great place. Clark's done a great job. Dr. Waldrop's done a great job with him. So hopefully we get him back soon. But yeah, we got those 3 guards that shoot it well. We also got London Jemison, who's got the potential to be a great shooter here once he kind of figures out how we want to play. We've got 2 7-footers that can make shots. LeBaird's shooting it better. Amari Halen can make shots. So kind of going on the list, I think we've got a lot of guys that can shoot it well. And I think, plays into the way that we want to play on an offensive end. So defensively, we know we've got to be a little bit better than we were last year. We're getting there. Coach Adams done a good job, I think, in the offseason, kind of pinpoint some stuff we can be better at. So we've been working at it, but open for questions if you guys got any other questions for us.
Starting Nick Kelly.
Yeah, you talk about Houston, but what do you think for his game that he's going to be able to take the biggest jump from what you guys even just saw in practice last season?
Yeah, I mean, he's so smart. We're talking about different coverage solutions versus different coverages, both on the ball and off the ball. He's got them all. He asks the best questions. He studies the most film. So, I think he shoots it at a really high level, but he's also just got a high IQ that he knows when to make the right plays, when to cut, when to screen, who to screen, what kind of angle to set on the screen, all that little stuff. He's not an exceptional athlete, but he's an exceptional thinker, exceptional worker. And I think he's going to have a really good year for us.
Emily.
Coach, can you speak to Noah Williamson's absence at practice today?
Yeah, Noah was just out sick today. He's been fine. He doesn't have any kind of basketball related injury or anything. He had an illness. He woke up this morning and was sick. So
Charlie.
Hey Coach, just kind of a bigger picture question. With Bruce Pearl retiring, you're now the 2nd longest tenured head coach in the SEC. Is that maybe a little surreal for you?
yeah, it's kind of crazy.
What does that say though about what you've built here in Alabama?
Yeah, somebody told me that, and I couldn't believe there's 16 teams in the SEC, and I don't feel like I've really been here that long, to be honest with you. I feel like we've got a lot more work to do here. So I think Coach Barnes is number 1, and he's been coaching a long time. Obviously, he's been at Tennessee for a good little bit now, but yeah, I guess we've won enough to stick around here for long enough to be the 2nd tenured coach. I think some of the change was, some people chose to leave, some people were fired, but it's kind of the nature of our business. It's a lot of movement. I'm fortunate I'm still here. I've got 3 girls. Lexi's a senior at Alabama this year, so it's great that we've been able to be here since her sophomore year in high school. We moved up here. Now she's about to graduate college, so it's pretty cool. Jossie's a junior this year in high school, so she's been able to mainly grow up here, and Brielle's in 8th grade. She's pretty much her entire life. This is what she's known, so it's kind of nice. We haven't had to bounce around, try to make new friends. So you know, we've built a pretty good program, you know, we've competed in the SEC, we've won 2 regular season, 2 tournaments. I think we've won more SEC games than anybody else in the league since we've been here, so when you've got success at a place and they're you know, wanting to continue that success, there's no reason to leave, so it's nice I'm still here.
Chase.
Another Williamson question, what have you seen from him in practice, and has he had an adjustment at all with the pace of play? I think last year you said Cliff had an adjustment to the, you know, the speed and pace that y'all like to play. Has that been an issue for Williamson or no?
Yeah, a little bit. It is for all the transfers. I feel like just because most places don't quite play as fast as we do, and Noah, you know, he played at Bucknell, super skilled, can play on the perimeter, can make shots, can really pass. I think passing might be his best attribute, but you know, he can handle the ball enough, he's smart. So, but again, he's not like an elite level athlete, but he is 7 foot and skilled. So the pace is, I don't wanna say it's bothering him, but we gotta figure out a way, cause he's not gonna be outrunning everybody up the floor all the time. So I think Coach Fleming's done a good job, you know, figuring out ways to institute him in the offense with his skill set without leaving him behind in transition. So yeah, we're still gonna play fast, but can we play fast? And Aiden Sherrell's, you know, he's a little bit better athlete. He's been here for a year, but again, he's not, you know, he's not Grant Nelson or even Cliff running up and down the floor. So both those bigs are super skilled, but we've got to find ways to use them without, and we'd rather play even faster than what we have here before. So we're gonna play fast. Those guys are gonna figure it out, and we've got to do a good job figuring out ways to include them without waiting for them to get up the floor. And I think we've been doing a pretty good job of it.
Blake.
Yeah, with Jalil Bethea out for a little bit, just which guys do you think you could turn to fill what maybe could have been his production if he were healthy at the start of the year?
Yeah, you know, and hopefully he comes back soon, because he was playing, he was starting to figure it out when he got hurt. So hopefully we get him back, because he's super talented. But I think, you know, some of the freshmen can step in. Amari's been pretty good when he's been healthy, really good at times. Davion's been elite, particularly on the defensive end. He's super coachable, great kid. So I think those 2 guys in the backcourt a little bit. And, you know, we weren't thin in the backcourt to begin with. You know, once we get Reitzel healthy, you know, we've got LeBaron, we've got Holloway, got Reitzel, kind of add Amari in, Houston, and you kind of got 5 guys there. Davion, 6 guys that can play a lot of minutes in the backcourt. So, you know, I think we'll figure it out. The thing is, some of those guys are bigger too, so when Jalil does come back, and, you know, if he gets back to where it's one of our better guards, you know, Houston 6'5" and rebounds it well, Amari 6'7", Davion 6'6". We've got some big guards that, you know, when we went to the Final Four, we started Rylan Griffin, along with 3 smaller guards. Rylan Griffin was essentially our four at the end of that year. So I don't think we have to go that small. It's great to stay with some size. We got Grant at the 4 to help us defensively, but we've got plenty of options. Go small, go big, either way.
Katie.
Why was Taylor Balboa kind of a good fit for your team out of the portal?
Yeah, I shot 41% from 3 at Florida State, so kind of spacing 4. He's also versatile. He can play small ball 5. He can, you know, our 4s are more like guards. I think he's smart. He can handle it. He can get a rebound, push up the floor, so it plays to our, you know, our speed. You get 6'10" guys that can handle the ball, push up the floor, space the floor, shooting 3s. You know, and then when we've had that bigger guys at the 4 that can play athletic. When we had Clowney, you know, now we had Bediako at the 5, who's a really good rim protector. But when Clowney was our starting 4, you know, at 6'10", athletic, he could stretch the floor. Our defense was also 3rd in the country that year too. So hopefully a combination of both sides of the ball, he can really, you know, help us make a big jump at that 4 spot.
Rodette.
Just what went into adding Collins kind of later in the cycle, and at 265, what can he add for you?
Yeah, I mean, for those of you that came and watched him practice, so he looks every bit the part. I mean, he's a large man, you know, he's young, he's supposed to be a senior in high school this year, which is crazy when you see him. But, the biggest thing was we may need some rim protection, some, you know, Aiden's capable, but we need him to step up in that area. You know, Noah, not a great athlete, super skilled on offense though, so, you know, can we get a guy in that can help us maybe guard some of those big, strong, physical bigs inside, you know, because we do have, I mean, you can put him with either Aiden or Noah if you wanted to go big. I mean, if you remember our, what was the game, second round of the tournament? St. Mary's, thank you, where we went big, just because they put 2 7-footers out there. So, you know, it gives us an option, you know, a team like Florida that's tended to play 2 bigs. You know, we could put Collins in with either Noah or Aiden, because Noah and Aiden can both space the floor and shoot it. You know, you can put him in with kind of any combination of guys just to protect the rim, give us some size to guard post players. So, and you know, he's a lot more raw offensively, but getting him a year early, you can really start to develop him, and hopefully, you know, he's a guy down the road that could really be special for us.
On the left with Theo.
Hey, Coach, just talk from a, you know, looking at the guys you lost last year, from a leadership perspective, how huge does it get for Reds back this year?
I think it's, you know, I think it's big. It helps to have some of these 5th-year guys, you know. Reitzel's played a lot of college basketball, Houston Let's played a lot of college basketball, so both those guys were in the program last year, both redshirted under different circumstances, but, you know, and we have them both, and Reitzel's played here a year already, so he's got a full year plus handful of games last year experience, and then been in college a long time. I think he's big, he's a leader, he talks, he could be great on both sides of the ball. We just gotta get him healthy here.
Hunter.
Hey Coach, this is Holloway's second year in your system. We saw what Mark Sears was capable of in his second year career highs across the board. Do you foresee something similar with Holloway?
He's looked really good in practice for the last couple of weeks. I mean, he's playing better and picking rolls with the ball in his hands. He's a lead off the ball. He can shoot from deep. So I hope he's got career highs this year. I think he's primed for it. I think he deserves it. He's playing a lot harder on the defensive side, so we can keep him on the floor longer, because he's playing hard on defense. And I think offensively, he's as talented as a guard, you know, as there is in the country. So, you know, will it be, what was Sears' second year? Was he second team All-American that year? I think it was, right? Yeah. Shoot, if he could have a year like that, we'd all be happy around here.
2 more, Hunter for the right.
Yeah, last year you said that you were considering redshirting LeBaron before he got here, and then when he did get here, everything kind of changed. Is there a newcomer that's kind of on that trajectory?
Look, we said that because he called us late. We had 1 scholarship open, and kind of just said we kind of got our guys already, but if you want to come, like, we'd love to have you. I know you're talented, but we thought it might have taken him a year to kind of figure out how to play in the system. And yeah, about a month in, we knew that wasn't going to be the case. He's competing super hard, and shoot, would have been drafted if he had stayed in the draft. So as far as this year, we didn't plan on redshirting anybody. We didn't talk about that with any of the newcomers, but I think the guy that maybe's stood out, that maybe is a surprise based on where he was ranked and then where he's gonna end up playing, would probably be a guy like Amari Allen, because I don't pay that close of attention to the rankings, but I'll say that he's gonna be a lot better than what he was ranked, and I think LeBaron was a lot better than what he was ranked coming out of high school. So I think Amari on both sides of the ball, he's big guard, plays hard, he's physical, he's about winning, plays defense, he can make shots, he can run a team, he can play and pick and roll, he can pass the ball, he can finish at the rim. I think he's primed to have a really good year for us.
Last one, Emma.
Losing so many veterans from last year's team, who do you hope to step up vocally for this team and really be a leader? I heard you saying earlier that you wanted to hear more talk on the court.
Yeah, I think the guys that, I mean, LeBaron being a point guard needs to really step up, be more vocal, and I think he's capable of it. He's super smart. Biz has been in the, Holloway's been in the program a year now. He can really step up. I think two of the guys that I think have tried to and are going to be leaders for us are Houston Willett and Charlie Reitzel, just because they're fifth-year guys that have been in the program. Reitzel for 2 years now, and Willett for a year now. They're both smart, they're both tough, they're both about winning. You know, we need those guys to step up. And then I think another guy that's got a chance, even though it's his first year in the program, but I go back to our second year when Jordan Bruner was first year in the program. He had no problem talking, leading. I think it helped. That was the first year we really got this thing going, won the SEC regular season tournament. And even though he got hurt some and didn't play maybe as much, I think his leadership in the locker room was big. But I think a guy like Taylor Bowen can do that because he's smart. He's played college basketball for 2 years. Even though it's his first year here, like he needs to step up and talk a little bit more too, and he's capable of it too. So we've got different options. I'm not opposed to having leadership by committee either. I think different times, different guys need to step up and say something. So we need everybody comfortable stepping up, being leaders.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, good to see you guys again.